How's it changed me? Well, I have a deeper relationship with God, number one. And number two, things are not important in this world. Nothing. You can replace everything, but you cannot replace human life. You cannot. Nothing will replace that. So the most important things you have are your faith, God, your family, your friends. Those are things that can be taken away from you and you can't get back. All this other stuff we have in our lives that we spend all this money on, it means nothing. In the grand scheme of things, nothing. That's it.
South Tower, stand by for emergency tones.
I think we're going to sit on the table. We are.
Air-Evac 1, go ahead.
Evac 1 ground standby has become a flight.
Roger that.
In 1985, Air-Evac Lifeteam was established by a group of local citizens to provide critical care air medical transportation and ensure immediate access to definitive health care for their remote community in the Missouri Ozark region.
Evac 1, go ahead.
2nd aircraft, please.
Although air ambulances were primarily based in larger cities at the time, the company's founders believed that the people who need air medical transport the most were those living in rural areas, often too far away from a hospital. Today, Air-Evac Lifeteam has grown to be the largest independently owned and operated air ambulance service in the United States, with over 100 bases. Since its founding, the company has transported more than 250,000 patients in need, serving as the critical link to improved response time and immediate access to medical care facilities for numerous rural communities across 14 states. And when every second counts.
10 minutes to be on board.
Evac 1, have you listed ETE 10 minutes, agency 1444 and lift up? Evac 1, go ahead.
1444, SL, RATM, 110 minutes on the fuel flight.
Did ETE 10 minutes, agency 1444 and SL, RATM, for fuel control plan, part 110 minutes of fuel.
If you're like me, you either live in a rural area or you spend a lot of time outdoors in places like this, places you'd certainly consider to be rural. 46 million Americans live in rural areas, places that are more than an hour away from a level 1 or 2 trauma center or a cardiac or stroke specialty care hospital, the kind of places you find in major cities. The fact of the matter is that rural trauma victims are twice as likely to die from an accident or medical condition as urban victims because of a failure to get to the hospital within a period of time known as the golden hour.
Evac 1, Evac 01, team flight request, Hallfield, Missouri, for a trauma patient, heading 247, distance of 14.
The paradigm shift that Air-Evac created in this industry is the idea that by placing the aircraft closest to the people in need, so that when their worst day of their life happens, whether that be an accident or a cardiac event or a stroke, that you're there quickly to pick them up and take them directly in, whereas historically all of the aircraft were based in the city and had to fly out to the person in need, load them, and then fly back, which really was double the amount of time that it takes us today. And that's when you count on those resources around you to make that difference of whether you either have a quality of life down the line or whether you even make it, quite frankly.
Air-Evac Lifeteam has established itself as the preeminent provider of air ambulance services to rural markets, serving over 1,700 diverse referral sources, including more than 1,000 hospitals and 700 EMS agencies, and attracting more than 850,000 members in support of its presence in their local communities to provide rapid access to advanced health care and save lives or improve outcomes for patients with critical health needs. Air-Evac Lifeteam operates the world's largest fleet of Bell 206 helicopters, and this is the place that makes it possible. The Completion Center here in West Plains, the 50,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility that employs over 70 aviation professionals, specialists in mechanics and avionics, sheet metal, and painting. This place is completely unique within the air medical industry.
Well, a completion center is two things. We actually take a green aircraft, which is brand new, and convert it into an air ambulance. That's one. And the other thing that we do is we refurb our older aircraft that are inside our existing fleet. The completion center from time to time does seem like an aircraft factory. We produce 20 aircraft, if you're looking at it from a factory standpoint, through there annually. 8 new, 12 performance plus. We know this aircraft inside and out. We've been maintaining this aircraft for 25 years. Bell Helicopter has certified us at our jig fixtures, and we are one of a very few amount of companies that are in the United States that have the Bell mainframe fixture that can do deep overhaul and repair. We have to perform preventive maintenance, routine inspections, and replace components on a schedule to guarantee that the aircraft will continue to operate perfectly.
Ready for additional?
We all believe in the common cause. We all believe in one goal, one outcome, which is patient care. Everything that we do here in West Plains is a support network to everything that we do out in the field. The base is our front line, or our storefront, if you will, and everything that's performed here in West Plains is support of that storefront.
One crew, can you need the numeric address, please?
Well, this is the command and control, or nerve center, for Air-Evac Lifeteam. This is CENTCOM, and it's open 24 hours a day, every day of the year. Whenever a call comes in to Air-Evac Lifeteam for help, that help starts right here from West Virginia all the way to Texas and everywhere in between.
Turn HFE of 1285, RA5, flight part 91 at 9:40.
Roger, 38 is departure space, so traveler part 91 and route to the scene.
I think that this company, through having an operational control center, goes as far as anybody can possibly go. I can't think of anything else that you could do to make it more safe. We have a robust ability to affect the flight.
Communication specialists include over 90 emergency medical technicians, paramedics, and air communication specialists whose expertise further maximizes the prompt, safe deployment and turnaround time that rural residents need to improve their outcomes. The company's instrument-rated pilots are skilled aviators who become proficient air medical pilots by training under its proprietary and Federal Aviation Authority approved program. Each certified pilot meets FAA standards and has flown on average more than 5,700 hours.
It's such a fulfilling feeling when you're flying the line to be able to directly impact someone's life, lots of lives, it's family lives. And when you lift with a critically ill or injured patient, and you know that the expedience with which you get to that hospital or trauma center is all in your hands. And when you do that and you complete that run and they say, well, they're going to make it, it's like, wow, this is something.
Air-Evac Lifeteam is among the few air medical companies to utilize 5 dedicated flight simulators as part of its routine training program. Pilots must also achieve standards established in the company's proprietary FAA-approved training program of operational and procedural instruction, as well as aircraft and mission-specific training in the Bell 206 Long Ranger and Bell 407 helicopters. Rapid response from highly qualified medical professionals is key to impacting outcomes. As such, Air-Evac Lifeteam employs medical professionals with advanced emergency and critical care skills. A registered nurse and paramedic are on every mission. Each specialist brings skills and experience that, when combined, enables the team to deliver the care required immediately as they arrive at the scene of an accident or medical emergency.
I think the medical crew are making time-critical decisions in very extreme, difficult environments more than anything. It's real simple. The people that work for us are a unique breed. It takes someone that's truly committed to know that I'm going to go out in the field where I have very limited resources and I'm still going to provide that high level of care.
Copy, 5-minute lift, 8-minute flight, 138 Alpha Echo Crew, Chandler Davis, Cook.
My job's good medicine for me. It's always a thrill. It's never boring. You're always able to grow with it. And I'm worried about that day when when will I be too old? What will I do then? So I hope I can do this for a long, long time. I'm nowhere near ready to give this up, even 25 years into pre-hospital care.
Air-Evac Lifeteam provides superior effectiveness in patient care and safety. Key elements to the success of its operations are the company's substantial commitment of financial and expert human resources, experienced and professional management of a common infrastructure, standardized and centrally controlled operations, well-defined policies, procedures and protocols, communication systems and billing and collection systems deliver a highly effective operation. Ultimately, operations result in a streamlined, lower-cost infrastructure that ensures financial stability and operational longevity to be in a position to serve out its mission, delivering high-quality medical emergency response to rural communities.
Sitcom 38, we are in communication with the ground unit on the scene, and I'm showing an 8-minute ET.
Air-Evac Lifeteam is one of the largest membership-supported air medical transport services in the United States. In fact, total membership is more than 850,000. Now, membership, how does that work? Well, if you ever need to fly with us, as a member, whatever your benefits provider pays will be considered payment in full. You will have no out-of-pocket expense. And how much does a membership cost? Well, how does roughly $5 a month sound? Sounds pretty good when you consider that the average air medical transport flight can cost between $12,000 and $16,000.
I now understand, as I have talked with people, being in the office over weekends, it's amazing how many people want to come and drive to West Plains or are driving through West Plains headquarters from outside of the area that come here. Quite often they'll say, you know, we really appreciate you putting a helicopter where nobody else would. I feel so much better knowing that I've got a resource there. And you know, I don't think I'll ever need this membership, but I'm just glad and I'm supporting you because you were willing to put an asset that's going to make a difference in some of my friends' lives. And this is my pledge of support. And what's happened with membership over the years now is, while Medicare, Medicaid, and other payers do absolutely recognize the benefits of and therefore pay for air ambulance, you are still left with co-pays and deductibles. And the cost over the years of healthcare and aviation have both gone up to where people now are, there's a balance of folks, maybe half of them still saying, don't think I'll need this, but you know what, I'm going to support you because you're in my community. And the other half looking at the value proposition, quite frankly, of the price of a tank of gas today covers you for a year, and should you be flown, you would have no copay or deductible or uncovered charges billed to you. Whatever your insurance or whoever pays for your health care makes a payment, that's considered payment in full.
Air-Evac Lifeteam is one of the first and largest membership-supported air medical services in the United States. Through its well-established community of over 850,000 members, local businesses and individuals contribute to the provision of a dedicated air medical crew and helicopter based in its rural community. In return, members receive valuable benefits associated with Air-Evac Lifeteam services. What is more important is that your membership helps provide pilots, critical care nurses, and paramedics with a helicopter based in rural communities or right in your own community. It was on a farm in northeast Missouri, a place much like this one, about 8 miles from the small community of La Plata. It was a normal Saturday morning, but as the clock struck 10:30, the Bielmer's life would change in an instant.
I pulled up right in between the two trees over there in our flower garden, and there she laid. Blood all over her head, unconscious.
Tina's oldest daughter, 9-year-old Remington, lies nearly lifeless after being kicked in the head by a horse.
Our lives changed, just like that. I never dreamed that morning when I went into work that I'd get a call saying, you know, this is serious. It's very, very serious.
It was an amazing deal when that helicopter landed on the ground and they come running over and took over. It was pretty impressive.
And an ambulance had to take her. Gosh. Or even if a chopper would have had to come out of Columbia, St. Louis, or Kansas City, we're 3 hours from those two big metropolitan. We're an hour and a half from Columbia. She was already in surgery by the time a chopper would have had to come out of there to here and back. she might not have made it.
Anybody that's not a member of Air-Evac is a huge gambler, in my opinion.
You need to have the membership. It's the most important thing to have. I never had to worry about a bill coming from Air-Evac. They called to check on us. We didn't owe them a thing. I never saw a bill. I got plenty of other bills to figure out and sort out, but that's one bill I didn't have to worry about.
After many weeks and months of recovery, Remington Beelmer was welcomed home by the members of her community. And as members of the community, the Air-Evac Lifeteam crew, who cared for and flew Remington to Columbia, Missouri, was also there in support.
They took wonderful care of her, and what a miracle. A miracle. It was priceless.
The result is that lives are being saved nearly every day. Rural communities want improved standards of living, derived from enhanced public services, but often it's too costly for municipalities with low population densities to fund critical air medical services. Air-Evac fills the gap by partnering with communities to provide rural areas with critical air medical services on an unsubsidized, tax-free basis. Air-Evac Lifeteam has also enhanced its service capabilities by adding several King Air 90 fixed-wing special medical transport aircraft that are strategically located in its service area. These aircraft are utilized when a patient transport is further than 150 miles from the nearest helicopter base, and can also be used on some occasions when weather grounds rotor wing aircraft.
A lady from Marianna, Arkansas calls me and she said, "We're poor farmers, and my husband has a tractor accident and it flips over on him and it's bad, and you guys flew him." She said, "The oddest thing in the world is the hospital's already dunning me for money and saying, you know, if you can't pay more than X, I may have to turn you over to collections." And she goes, "You guys called and said, how's your husband?" She goes, "Remembers." And she goes, "So I'm just saying, is that all there is? I mean, there's nothing else?" No, that's it. Remember.
Dear Air-Evac Lifeteam, I want to thank you for making this tough time in my life easier. Words can't even come close to explain how grateful I am.
That young man was my son.
I want to thank you and your family. We are deeply appreciative of your prayers.
I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You all are truly earth angels.
Thank you for helping save my life. Without your help, I surely would have died.
I feel very blessed that your company was sent to our daughter, and
companies out there that still show as much compassion as you have is what makes this world what it should be.
In an emergency, your best hope for a full recovery rests in your ability to get to medical care quickly, especially if you live in rural America. When seconds count, Air-Evac Lifeteam's air ambulance is just what you need. As a member, whatever your benefits provider pays will be considered payment in full. You will have no out-of-pocket expense. Your membership fees help make it possible for Air-Evac Lifeteam to provide this life-saving service to your community. Enroll today